What is up, Cancer? How are you guys doing? It is time for your April 2025 extended reading. This is just one last swoop across the table. I got to make sure that I get every crumb, every drop of information, every situation, every scenario out of the month of April that I possibly can before we can move on to the mid-month messages, okay? So for those of you who are in need of a personal reading, all you got to do is check the description of this video, and that's where you'll find everything you need to know as far as how to go about doing that, okay? All right, let's jump into this. I want to start these off with general messages. General, career, finance, friends, family, anything but romance. What general messages do we have for Cancer for April, universe? This deck's getting a tood with me. General messages for Cancer. Uh-oh, Empress reverse. So remember, this is not romance. So if it has to do with a person, it's either friend or family. And that's the first thing that I'm looking at. Now, for some of you, you could be having some issues with your mama. But at the end of the day, it's whoever the first person is that comes to mind when I say this. But I do got family energy jumping straight out the gate, specifically the mother of the tarot. But let's see what's going on here. Oh yeah, this looks like a nasty falling out you had with somebody. Ooh, there might be a conversation. Yep, I'm feeling like there is going to be communication between you and this person. Honestly, it feels like y'all are getting closure. Page of Swords, Ace of Swords, World card, that feels like closure to me. That feels like closure. And that's not an uncommon theme so far for the month of April. That's a pretty common theme I've been seeing. Right in time for Aries season, the start of the new cycle, the end of the old cycle. A lot of people are getting closure and releasing old baggage. But there's another little common theme that comes along with this, with almost every sign that this energy comes out for. There may be closure, but that doesn't mean that this is necessarily somebody you should bring back into your life. You're like the third sign I've seen this come through for. So, okay, I don't really have much else to say about this here. But what kind of concerns me, though, is for those of you who are dealing with a family situation, that almost always ends up resulting in a reconciliation attempt and a repeat cycle, doesn't it? Anytime you fall out with family and closure ends up happening, or apologies are extended, or we attempt to bury the hatchet, it almost always ends up resulting in reconciliation and then a repeat cycle, doesn't it? Well, let me just get some general advice here. I'm not seeing reconciliation happening here, but I'm just concerned, especially for those of you who are making amends with a family member you fell out with. Let's get some general advice for Cancer. General advice. What general advice do we have for the Cancerian collective? Ooh, Four of Swords. Boom, boom. Tower card reversed. I'm telling you, be careful. The Mother is reversed again, the Empress. Careful. Careful, careful, careful. Listen, y'all, I don't care who it is. I don't care what the situation is, the scenario. I don't care if it's a lover, a friend, a family member, an acquaintance, a coworker, a business partner. Any type of reconciliation, any type. I don't care what kind of situation it is. It only works successfully if both people change energies. It's the only way it works. It's the only way it works. You have to bring a new energy back to the table, and they have to bring a new energy back to the table. Telling you. That's the reason why reconciliation of any kind, the success rate is so staggeringly low. That's the reason why. Because most people are not bringing a new energy back to the table. So there is nothing wrong with getting closure, extending any apologies you may owe, accepting any apologies that are handed to you, and just as soon as you get that closure, clear the air, bury the hatchet, step away. Step away. Step away. I'm telling you, step away. Step away. It's going to be a repeat cycle. I'm telling you. Telling you. Y'all going to come back together. I don't give it a week. 2 weeks if you're lucky. Boom. It's going to go right back to what it was before. Right back to what it was before. It's going to be the same old shit. Every fucking time, dude. So, just be careful with that. Just because you forgive somebody does not mean that you have to bring them back into your life. Matter of fact, quite the opposite. Forgive somebody and then release them. Don't take that energy back on again. All right, let's move on to the love portion. Let's see what's coming in next for the singles. What's coming in next for the singles? Whoa, dude, you got that lover's card, though. You know what that means? That means you don't have any miscellaneous soul contracts due to come in. That means there's nothing left but your divine life partner. That's all that means. You don't have any karmic contracts due. So far, the majority of you that I'm seeing aren't in need of a course correction. There's nothing left but your divine life partner. That's it. Queen of Coins. But every time, this is another one, you're like the second or third sign this has come through for. You're going to be tested. But with that Queen of Coins energy, though, I think you'll ace a test with flying colors. Matter of fact, now this didn't come through for the other signs. There was 2 other signs that I see being tested. Okay? But unlike those signs, I don't even think you're going to realize you were being tested. I think the majority of you have been through so much shit, and you've done so much healing, and you've done so much evolution over the past several months, some of you years, that you will subconsciously sniff bullshit out and avoid it without even realizing it. Like, you won't even put a second thought into it, So I'm telling you, though, Knight of Wands, 7 of Swords, these same 2 cards came out for 2 other signs. Different decks, too, by the way. But, yeah, I don't even think you're going to have to worry about that. It's probably going to seem like a bit of a challenging, hard transition that you're going through. And right when you least expect it, that's when, at the craziest, most random, unexpected time and place, you're going to get slapped with a connection that's going to rock your socks off, dude. Yep. And for those of you who purchased the Manifesting Financial Abundance course and you studied up on the science behind how manifestation works, once you wrap your mind around that concept, that's when you understand why it happens when you least expect it. How many of you grabbed that one? That one sold. There was quite a few sales on that last month, so I know there's a bunch of you that got it. So that may be a funny concept. It may not make a lot of sense at first. It took me a long time to understand it. But once you understand that concept, that's why it happens when you least expect it. That's why. The science of manifestation and the way it works, that's why it happens when you least expect it. And I think that's what's going to happen for a lot of you. A whole lot of you. And not only is it when you least expect it, but another thing that I've seen throughout my line of work is that when you do meet either your divine life partner or just a person with a lot of fucking potential, depending on the vibrational frequency that you're at, it usually not only happens when you least expect it, but it also happens at a really inconvenient time. Really inconvenient. You're not expecting it because it's not convenient. There's almost always a hard decision that has to be made when two divine life partners come together. Almost always. But when you meet that fucking person, you'll make that decision in the drop of a hat. You know, like say the two of you are at a distance and you're going to have to leave your life behind. All right, well, I'm outie. Later friends, later family, later town I grew up in, pew, I'm gone. Or maybe you have to quit the job you've been working at for the last 10 years. Deuces. Later. All right, well, that's an interesting message to come through. Let's, it kind of throws a monkey wrench in my flow when it comes out like that. I guess let's just get some advice. Let's just get some advice for the single cancers. Let's get some advice. Ooh, Four of Swords. Three of Cups. Okay, yup, all right. So when it all comes down to it, when push comes to shove and the nitty gets gritty, it's all about coming from a place of abundance from within. You know that the leading cause of relationship failure is not coming from a place of abundance. When you're not coming from a place of abundance, the likelihood that you're just going to bring somebody into your life and try to force it to work is very, very high. Very high. But when you're coming from a place of abundance, you'll realize that it was never a relationship you were looking for to begin with. You were looking to fill the void. But once you fill the void, you're not just going to let any random person waltz into your life. I was just telling Gemini this same thing. I think it was Gemini. Gemini or Taurus. When you're coming from a place of abundance from within, one of the most interesting things that you'll notice is that your bullshit-o-meter is so fucking sensitive. So sensitive. Think about it, man. If I'm happy and abundant, I'm content, I'm complete myself, why would I bring you into my life? Why would I do that? If I'm happy, abundant, fulfilled, and complete, I'm going to be really fucking picky about who I bring into my life, ain't I? Your bullshit-o-meter is so fucking sensitive, you'll smell it. You'll smell it from a mile away. I don't even know how to explain it. You'll be talking to somebody for 5 minutes, and you'll just smell it on them. Ooh, I can just smell the insecurity, the jealousy, the drama that's going to come along with bringing you into my life. Nah, I'm good. I'm complete. I'm good. I don't need a relationship to create my happiness for me. I'm good. I don't need you in my life. And you'll pass a test with flying colors. Most people who attract their divine life partner turn relationships down a few times before they meet that person. Everyone I've ever met goes through a little period where they're turning relationships down. Because remember, it's frequency equalization. If you want to attract a person and a relationship that harmoniously resonates with love, happiness, joy, and abundance, you must first match the vibration of love, happiness, joy, and abundance. Once you match the vibration of love, happiness, joy, and abundance, you're not coming from a place of lack, need, and desperation. When you're not coming from a place of lack, need, and desperation, you're very fucking picky about the energy that you allow into your space. Very fucking picky. Very fucking picky. Don't drive yourself nuts trying to figure out who your person is. You'll waste so much time doing that. There's a lot of people right now who have been in a relationship with the wrong person for the past 10 years because they're trying to figure out if that person is their person. All you got to do is figure out how to identify who your person is not. Because I'm going to tell you what right now. When the universe bring you your fucking person, you ain't going to need to try to figure that out. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. Do you believe that when the universe brings you your divine life partner, you're going to be scratching your head wondering if it's them or not? Do you believe that when the universe brings you that one person it picked for you, you're going to be confused about whether or not you can trust that person? Trust me, you won't need to drive yourself nuts trying to figure that out. And the likelihood that you'll have to come ask me if they're your person is very slim. Very slim. It happens every now and then. I can count a tiny little handful of people throughout my career who have had to do that, but it's very rare. Very rare. Learn to identify who your person is not. Think about that. All right. Now we're going to shift gears. Now I want to see what's going on with the current long-term partner. So, if you're not in a long-term relationship, this is not for you. If you are in a long-term relationship, but the two of you are not experiencing problems, this is not for you. All right, let's see what's happening between Cancer and the current long-term partner. What is happening, man? Cancer and the current long-term partner. Fool card. Some of y'all dealing with an Aries. Oh, Tower card reversed. Some of you have already been on and off with this person. Some of y'all already done this before, broke up and got back together. But even if you haven't been on and off with this person, an ending is being prevented. This feels like it's being artificially propped up. With the Death card upright and the Tower card reversed. I can't lie, man. This right here has on and off written all over it. I feel like a bunch of you have already been on and off with this person. I feel like it's probably the majority of you, to be honest with you. But I know it's not all of you. But, like I said, this is being artificially propped up. The only cups I have on the table here is the Six of Cups reversed. And this indicates grudges being held from the past. So, I don't think you're 100% committed to this. At least, not like you used to be. Not like you used to be. You may not even really know what the hell you're even doing. Some of you may only be in this relationship because it's become your comfort zone. Is that the only thing keeping you here? This person's your comfort zone? Eight of Cups reversed. I'm telling you, this has on and off written all over it, dude. All right, well, let's see how the current long-term partner feels about you. Let's see what their energy looks like. What kind of person are they in general? Current long-term partner, Cancer is with. What are their feelings, energies, and opinions? Lovers card reverse. See, they don't feel the strongest connection in the world. Not like they used to. Boom, Star card, Ace of Pentacles, Six of Swords reversed. Yeah, well, they do kind of feel like this connection has expired. Yeah. Karmic wheel in the upright. They feel like this connection has expired. It's just, the connection just isn't there anymore. Not really. I don't even honestly think they know what in the hell they're doing there. Again, this has comfort zone written all over it. This has comfort zone written all over it. I'm only with you because you're my comfort zone. It's kind of like when, you ever met somebody who did years in prison? They get out of prison and they're not comfortable. They're not happy. They want to go back. I know somebody personally who, about a year ago or so, just got out of doing a 12-year prison sentence, I believe. 11 or 12 years. And is not adjusting to it very well at all. Just because you're in a toxic environment doesn't mean you can't get comfortable. If you sit in shit long enough, you'll stop smelling it and get comfortable. And that's what this feels like to me. I don't feel like either of you are happy. But you're each other's comfort zones. Okay, well, like I said, this is being artificially propped up. I'm not seeing an ending happening in April. Let's get the advice. Let's get the advice. What is the advice for Cancer in the current long-term relationship? King of Swords reversed. Seven of Pentacles reversed. Empress reversed. Okay, well, Two of Wands. Okay, so let me see if I can hit this from a different angle. I knew that shit was going to come out. Let me see if I can hit this from a different angle. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. But I'll tell you this. What you got's what you got. What you got's what you got. Ain't nothing changing. Yeah. Especially those of you who have been on and off with this person. How many times you been on and off? I bet you there's a couple of you who have already done this 4 or 5 times with this person. And it's the same thing every time, isn't it? What you got's what you got. That's all I'm going to say. So the reason why I'm saying that, instead of telling you what to do, is just for you to step back and think. Do I want to spend the rest of my life like this? Open-ended question. Totally open-ended. I know that sometimes when I ask questions like that, it's rhetorical and I'm alluding to something. I'm not doing that this time. This is just seriously something for you to think about. I'm not judging you one way or the other. Do I want to spend the rest of my life like this? It's something to think about. Because at what point do we realize that if things were ever going to change, it would have changed a long time ago? Again, another open-ended question. Do you actually think things are going to change? What's the goal? What's your vision for the future? These are just some things to ask yourself. Okay? I'm not being a smartass. I'm not talking down to you. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm just giving you some things to think about. These are things that I've had to think about in the past. before I walked away from nasty, horrific, toxic relationships that I am so glad I walked away from. Oh, man. And I'm going to tell you what, right goddamn now, it was hard. It was hard to walk away from some of the shit I've walked away from in the past. But boy, I'm going to tell you what, I have no regrets. Not now. Because I sat and I thought to myself, man, at what point do I believe things are going to change? I've been waiting for years to wake up and see a change. And it's not. Not only is it not changing, it's not changing for the better. It's getting worse. I'm less happy this year than I was last year. I'm going to be less happy next year than I am right now. So, is that the way you want to spend the rest of your life? Or for those of you who have been on and off, do I want to keep looping around this merry-go-round? On and off and 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 on and off. Do I want to keep doing that? Just something to think about. If you do, hey, cool, I'm not judging you. Here's what I would recommend, though. For those of you who do want to spend the rest of your life like this, your best bet is to step back, quit complaining, and just accept it for what it is. For real. That's all you can really do. It is what it is. It ain't gonna change. You is who you is. You ain't gonna change. And fuck it. What I got's what I got. What I got's what I got. So I'm just gonna accept it and deal with it. This is my life. There's some things to think about, okay? All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Cancerian family needed to hear, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, the information for personal readings is right down there in the description, okay? All right, I'm out of here now, y'all. I'll see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.